As you guys know, I live in Paris, and my family lives in Toronto. But in October this year, we met each other halfway, in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean on a small island in the Azores called São Miguel. And after 2 months of learning Italian secretly, on an evening sitting on a terrace with some French wine, I spoke with my family in their language for the first time. Alright, now before I take you guys on this language learning journey with me, I want to quickly talk accelerated language learning strategy, because I was going into this knowing that similar to the weight loss journey that I went on earlier this year, where I lost about 25 pounds over the course of a couple months, that I would be the most effective and see the fastest results if I made a plan and stayed consistent. And so June rolls around. Alright, so I started looking into taking Italian lessons, and I realized that I have 2 days left to sign up for the Lingoda language sprint, and I think I'm finally gonna do it. And so I did it. In July of this year, I took my very first Italian class, and here's the tea, you guys. I knew that I was under a time crunch. I was seeing my family in less than 2 months. I had to learn Italian fast. And so I watched hundreds of videos of people talking about how they very quickly learned a new language. And there are just some strategies that I fundamentally disagree with. In particular, I saw a lot of people try to skip over grammar and just memorize the 1,000 most used words of a language. And for languages like French and Italian, this will never work, because the way that you say or spell a word is completely dependent on the gender of that word, the subject pronoun of that word, or how many of that object there are. Let's take an example. The word go. In the English present tense, we have I go, you go, he, she goes, we go, you go, they go. The exact same thing in Italian would be io vado, tu vai, lui lei va, noi andiamo, voi andate, and loro vanno. So you can see that it will be absolutely useless to just learn the word go in Italian. Without understanding the grammar behind the words, you literally cannot use them in conversation. I also saw a lot of people say, oh, just watch a movie in Italian, just watch a series or an Italian YouTuber. But the thing is, when you're starting from literally zero like me, you don't understand anything that's going on. And when you don't understand, you are in no way motivated to continue watching. So yeah, that's why I went with online language classes. I knew that I wanted a curriculum and a teacher who was gonna help me learn vocabulary and grammar and speak with me in class. And on top of that, there was another reason that I opted for the Lingoda sprint, and it's that if you succeed the sprint, you can earn 50% of your cash back. And as the eldest daughter, I have major overachiever energy. And so I knew that I would be extra motivated to stick with my Italian classes if there was an incentive at the end. So the sprint gave me that push. Alright, so it's the night before my very first Italian class, and I went all out. I got this cute little pink binder, and I printed out the first 3 lesson plans. I figured that I would be better off printing them out so I could take handwritten notes while the teacher's explaining everything. And I also wanted to review lesson 1 before the actual lesson itself. Okay, are you ready? You're gonna practice with me?
Gelato.
Grazie.
Grazie.
Scusi, ho una domanda.
Scusa, ho una domanda. This one's easy.
Prego.
Prego.
Ciao, buongiorno.
Hi. Ciao, mi chiamo Arielle. I know 0 Italian.
Conoscete altre parole in italiano? Do you know any other words in Italian, Arielle?
Nope.
No?
I truly know no Italian. That was so hard.
Ciao Arielle,
Hi, ciao.
ti vuoi presentare? Do you want to introduce yourself very shortly? Arielle.
Ciao, mi chiamo Arielle. And I know zero Italian.
E Arielle, numero 2?
I'm not sure.
Arielle, come si chiama la tua compagna di classe?
Mi compagna di classe. I don't know. If I look like I'm about to cry, I definitely am. This is a moment that I wanted to show you guys because it can be really hard trying something new. It can feel terrible to be terrible at something. But what I think is important is that when this happens, when you feel this way, you just gotta push through. You have to get back up, dust yourself off, and try harder tomorrow. All I can think is that in 2 months, hopefully I'll look back on this and be really proud of myself for how much I improve.
Buongiorno di nuovo. Come stai?
Bene.
Ok, perfetto.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z.
Come ti chiami?
Mi chiamo Arielle.
Come si scrive?
Si scrive Arielle. So I thought I would show you guys what every single night looks like for me since having started this sprint. It's midnight, by the way, and I'm not even half done. I really feel like I'm back in school. Basically, I have all of my course material, like all of my past lessons here to refer to, and then this is tomorrow's lesson. I'm going through everything. I'm writing notes, I'm answering the questions, I'm translating, and I'm keeping track of any phrases that I think will come in useful in the future here in my notebook. And once I'm done preparing for tomorrow's lesson, then I'll do about 15 minutes of Duolingo exercises for Italian. I really just feel like Lingoda and Duolingo work well together. I like learning through the lesson plans and the teachers with Lingoda, and then I like to have the really quick, easy, accessible exercises of Duolingo on my phone that are very repetitive, and because they're so repetitive, I feel like it helps with memorizing words and vocabulary and dialogue and all that. Language learning doesn't even stop for vacation. We got to Canada a few days ago, and I still have to keep up with my Lingoda sprint. So I booked all my classes for later in the day on French time, and yeah, I'm gonna keep up with it even while I'm home.
Ciao Arielle,
Ciao.
come stai?
Bene, grazie. E tu?
Bene, grazie.
So by mid-August, Sean and I were in Canada, and I thought I would quickly mention that I actually had to keep on with my Italian lessons in order to win the sprint. There are a few rules you have to follow, but one of the major ones is that you have to complete 15 lessons every month for 2 months. And there was literally no way that I was going to lose my sprint, so I continued with one class every other day, even when I was home. And over the course of my first month learning Italian, I had chosen the beginner classes that covered topics like spelling, the alphabet, numbers, the present tense, how to introduce myself and describe personal details, talking about where I come from, where I work, where I live, and how to order a coffee, ask for the bill, etc. I won't lie to you, month 1 was incredibly hard. For the first few lessons especially, I felt like I didn't know what I was doing, like I was the worst in the class, and honestly, I was. I think I was probably the only student that literally started from nothing. Most other students that I met had maybe studied a little bit of Italian in high school or had Italian relatives that they talked to, or maybe they moved to Italy. So it did take me a few weeks to find my footing and start to really retain everything that I was learning. It might not be the best example, but I do think it's kind of cool that by the end of month 1, I went from not being able to say anything in Italian to being able to introduce myself and talking about where I live and what I do for work.
Ti vuoi presentare un po' tu?
Mi chiamo Arielle, sono canadese, ma vivo a Parigi e parlo 2 lingue e italiano molto male. Ciao, mi chiamo Arielle. Vivo a Parigi e lavoro. Lavoro social media.
Okay, so we're on our way to Valdo for the weekend, but I have an Italian class as soon as we get to the Airbnb. So I'm on the train, reviewing all of the lessons of the chapter. And Jean also downloaded an Italian movie and TV show for me to watch so that I can review the vocabulary, grammar, and stuff. I'm a good student, okay? And this is kind of a fun addition in month 2 of my language learning journey, is that I learned enough vocabulary and my oral comprehension had improved so much that I was actually able to watch and understand, with subtitles, Italian content.
Delle vittime di quel disastro. Queste persone rimasero lì e videro il mondo crollare attorno a loro.
We're watching a documentary on Pompeii, but we switched it to Italian. Jean and I also started watching the show Briganti together, and I started watching some Italian YouTubers and especially the channel Italiano Automatico. I think the conversation videos he does are really helpful to understand the way that normal people speak as opposed to textbook Italian.
Passiamo alla prossima domanda. Allora, nonna, come sarebbe la tua giornata perfetta? Se potessi scegliere la tua giornata perfetta, ti svegli, cosa fai?
I also started to have a blast on Duolingo. Once I actually knew what I was doing in Italian, thanks to my teachers, I found it to be really convenient to do their exercises on my phone. Sometimes Jean and I would have to drive for over an hour, and so I'd get in an extra hour of Italian practice en route.
La giacca rossa.
La giacca rossa.
Lily è in un negozio con la sua amica, Zari.
Lily è in un negozio con la sua amica Zari.
Questo negozio è caro.
Questo negozio è caro.
Sì?
Sì?
Wow!
Wow!
And of course, I continued with my lessons and the sprint. Yes, Jean and I are glamping. And yes, I am still doing Italian lessons from the middle of a forest. The sprint stops for nothing.
Ciao Arielle.
Ciao.
Come stai?
Oh, bene, grazie. E tu?
Bene, bene. Sembri un po' stanca.
Sì, sì, molto stanca. Sono Paola, ho 23 anni e sono di Roma. Il mio numero di telefono è 341577961. Okay, 20 lessons in, so 2/3 of the way there. And for the first time, I feel like I was able to answer the teacher's questions, maybe not completely like with a full sentence, but at least with words that I've been using and that I remember from the past 5 or 6 lessons, which I think is really good. Before, when the teacher would ask a question, either I would say the word in English or I wouldn't know how to answer. But I feel like today I answered all of her questions pretty well with the proper word, just maybe not the full sentence, but it's really interesting to see the improvement. Like, again, I started this with 0 Italian knowledge, and to be able to understand the lesson, to understand the questions, and then be able to answer, I think is pretty incredible for only having 20 lessons under my belt. So yeah, I feel pretty good.
Hello guys, today it's not Arielle, it's Jean. We are going to learn French with me. So bonjour, comment allez-vous?
Jean, I'm gonna be late for my class.
Bah oui, mais c'était pas là. Moi je entretiens tout avec les abonnés comme ça.
Bye. Buonasera.
E a Parigi, Ariel, quanto costa un caffè?
Normalmente un caffè costa €1,50.
Ok. E in Canada?
Wow, €6.
Ok, Arielle?
Parlo francese molto male, faccio la box molto bene e suono pianoforte abbastanza bene.
Parlare francese molto male.
Sì.
Sì, questo era molto facile, molto facile.
It's so funny because when you do classes every day, you see the same teachers pretty often, the same students pretty often, and in that class specifically, there were 3 other girls that I have seen in multiple other lessons, and because you talk so much, about your hobbies, about your job, about kind of like basic getting to know each other in Italian, I feel like they're my friends. Ciao, sono Arielle, sono canadese ma vivo a Parigi e studio italiano per piacere. Okay, listen you guys. I'm not a good liar. I will not be pretending. But I really wanted to open this email and give you my real first reaction. You will unfortunately not be getting that because as soon as it came in, I was so excited. I just impulsively opened it, so I already know what it says. But this email has the results of my sprint. It's really nice because there's just a big congratulations at the top of the email. So yeah, if you couldn't guess already by my smile, I succeeded the sprint. So I completed the challenge. I earn 50% of my cash back, and I think most importantly, I really have learned so much Italian. Like, this has been a huge journey for me, and it feels really good to have succeeded in my goal, but also succeeded in winning the cash back. I think all that's left now is to pack my bags, get on the plane, and head to the Azores. It's wild to think that in just 2 months, I went from knowing nothing about the Italian language to being able to have my first proper conversation with my dad in Italian. And there's no denying that I put the work in, the hard work day in and day out to get where I am. But to be honest with you, I couldn't have done it without Lingoda. And so I'm really grateful to them, not only for sponsoring this video, but also for helping me to reconnect with my family, with my culture, and to be successful on my language learning journey. As you guys have seen, thanks to the sprint, I've made incredibly fast progress learning Italian, and my confidence speaking has skyrocketed. There are 1,000,001 reasons that I trusted Lingoda and the sprint with my language learning journey, but specifically, I really appreciated the fact that classes are offered all throughout the day, so it's very easy to line up your language learning with your personal schedule. The teachers are also incredibly talented and passionate about teaching Italian. They make learning actually fun, and as a total beginner, I can confirm that they're so patient, encouraging, and are always getting everyone talking during class. And I also think that it's pretty incredible that I've been able to learn all around the world, from Toronto to Bordeaux to the middle of a forest and even on an island. There's also no better time to try the sprint with Lingoda. Until November 18th, you can register for their special 1-month sprint, allowing you to boost your language skills in just 30 days. On top of that, when you use my link down below, the Sprint Challenge will be discounted up to 20% off, and you can use the code Arielle in Paris to get an additional €20 off. With the cashback, your language classes will cost as low as €4 per class, and what's more is that I know you'll make incredible progress learning a new language with Lingoda. Thank you again to Lingoda for sponsoring this video and for getting me to this moment with my family. Benvenuti a tutti! Woo!
Ciao! Oh, sorry.
Questo è la mia famiglia.
Ciao.
Lei è mia zia, Antonietta. Lui è mio zio, Giovanni. E anche il fratello di mio papà, Ernesto. E la mia zia è la moglie di mio zio. La mamma è qui, ma non parla italiano. E anche Jean non parla italiano, ma un po' spagnolo e inglese. Oggi è la prima volta nella mia vita che parliamo in italiano insieme. Prima la conversazione
un poco di vino.
Beviamo
un po' di vino.
di vino.
Cin cin.
Cin cin.
Alla lingua.
Alla lingua. Alla famiglia.
La famiglia.
Andiamo ragazzi a...
Alla spiaggia?
No. Come va?
Molto bene. Ogni giorno deve essere un giorno di festa.
Oh mamma mia, che bella
Bella?
cosa.
Ok.
Io sto bene, grazie.
Sto molto bene, siamo a Portogallo. Adesso siamo venuti dalla spiaggia, siamo bella giornata.
Molto bene, molto bene.
E tu?
E tu come stai?
E tu? Tu piaci?
Come stai
Questa
oggi,
zona
Arielle?
di Portogallo?
Sto bene, grazie. Mi piace le Azores. E tu? E voi?
Piace la temperatura? È bellissima qua.
E anche mi piace, infatti, tutti
tu puoi mangiare tutte le verdure, la frutta,
E la
che
pesche.
viene proprio,
E pesce.
yeah, le pesce che
I banane.
sono proprio
That's under fruit,
questo
but
Guardate le
that's
banane,
okay.
che le banane sono
Posso.
molto bellissime.
Banane is a...
Sì.
Sì.
Is that correct? Banane?
Yeah.
La banana
No, non
è
è.
una frutta.
Banane.
I banini?
No.
Panini con le banane. Sono benissimo. Tutto bis. Cominciano con tutto lo B.
Ok, Dad, e tu? Ti piace le Azores?
Yes, mi piace le risorse. Sì, mi piace le risorse. Le gente sono bellissime.
Yeah, mi piace il clima.
Siamo con la famiglia. Questo è bello, no?
Anche io, yeah, yes. Mi piace il clima. È molto felice per vedere voi.
Serve più vino perché tu hai ancora sì, nervoso questo.
Ok, Dad.
Dad. Chi è dad? Chi è dad?
I think it's
Dad.
no, it's a little bit
Babbo?
strange to say papa.
A babbo?
A
Babbo.
papa. Papa.
Babbo.
Babbo?
Babbo?
Babbo.
Is that regional?
That's up north, I think.
Yeah, it's north.
Heard you from the south?
Sì.
They are.
Vuoi mandare parlare in italiano?
Ma perché io sono la prima ogni volta? Ma va là, quello. Domanda questa questione.
Io manco parlare con i miei nonni, la mia suocera. La mia suocera e mio nonno sono morto, ma mia nonna abita viva in una casa di riposo.
E parlare
Via
telefono?
No, perché manco lei. No.
Non si sente. Non è una...
Scusi, che hai detto?
Yeah.
Vuoi mancante
questo-
parlare in
Questione.
italiano? No!
Tu manca parlare con tua mamma.
Sì. Dico, più tempo che passa, la lingua si perde. Quando ci stava mamma alla casa,
Parlavo
parlava
italiano.
sempre.
Yeah.
Mo che non ci sta mamma, non si parla.
No.
E vuoi vivere in Italia? In Italia?
No.
Perché?
No.
Perché Toronto è differente, multicultural. Multiculturale e pure 4 stagioni.
Qual è il tuo stagione preferisco? In Canada?
L'estate, perché il sole,
Ma estate è molto bello in Italia.
Yes, è molto bello in Italia.
What's the other one?
No, capito.
L'inverno? No, l'inverno.
L'inverno?
No, inverno perché
primavera?
io sci. How do you say ski?
Come si dice ski? I knew this.
Sciare?
For skiing?
Maybe, or is that skating?
Sciare?
Yeah.
No.
Passaggio è molto bellissimo. The landscape.
In Italia?
Yeah, in Italia.
Ma non
Però-
in
però
Toronto?
È un bello posto per andare per vacanza.
Yeah, però non per,
Però per abitare,
non per vivere.
non credo che possa
Ok.
No.
vivere là.
Vorrei abita in Italia?
No. La famiglia qua, gli amici su qua. No, tutti sono a Canada.
Ma preferisco il clima in Toronto o in Italia?
In Toronto.
Preferisco il clima in Toronto.
Yeah.
Ah no.
Poi per
Molto freddo.
Vacanze.
Molto male.
Paesi caos.
Vacca?
Mi piace la vacca. Sono,
Ok.
non sono come amici.
Oh.
Mi piace che le vacche.
Come si dice help me? Come on.
Aiutami!
Aiuto.
I'll save you.
Ci sono molti amici, ci sono molte famiglie all'Italia.
Sì.
Papà
Oh. For you,
abbiamo molte famiglie all'Italia. Se noi siamo più, come si dice, se noi andiamo più spesso all'Italia, quando siamo giovani, forse era più meglio andare all'Italia adesso. Però non siamo fatti
Vacanze là.
quando siamo stati giovani. per andare là per vivere adesso non siamo abituati con la lingua, con la cultura all'Italia.
Un po' triste?
Sì.
Un po' triste.
Sì.
E tutti i miei cugini, i primi cugini, abitano a Toronto. I primi cugini di tuo papà e tuo zio abitano all'Italia, ma con 7 figli, tua nonna e tuo nonno.
Troppo caro.
L'ultimo domande.
Sì.
Voi preferisco cosa nella cultura italiana? Italiano? Cultura italiana?
Sì. Mi piace mangiare.
Il cibo.
Come si dice? Non mangiare.
Il cibo.
Il cibo.
Cibo.
Cibo. Mi piace il
Cibo.
Sì. Però anche i festivi. Come si dice?
Festival?
I
Festivali.
festivali che ci sono.
Festivale, il cibo.
Ma anche io preferisco i momenti con la famiglia, per esempio Natale, Pasqua e il cibo.
Quando noi andiamo all'Italia per mangiare, tutta la famiglia arriva.
Sì.
Tutta.
No, perché quella è la
30-40 gente vengono per mangiare.
La famiglia è importante. Quella è molto importante e quello mi piace.
Wow, fantastico.
No, segni fantastico.
Grazie a tutti.
Prego.
Grazie.
Sono felice
il billo.
che il vino è più bellissimo che la nostra lingua, che la nostra italiana.
Sì.
Cici.
Grazie, Arielle.
Siamo finito.
When you look at that, you're going to
bravo.
Okay, take 2.
In all honesty, this was the most fulfilling experience for me as someone who grew up never feeling Italian enough, who never got to speak with her nonna. I never felt more connected to my culture and my family than in this moment. And I actually really enjoyed learning Italian. Like, the lessons were so much fun. I'm still keeping up with them. I'm doing sometimes even 2 a day. So who knows where learning Italian will take me in the future. Probably back to Italy. But until then, grazie mille a tutti per la visione e a presto.